A red hat, an ordinary customer, and a morning coffee. Everything seemed routine until one bold waitress made a move that turned her life upside down. What started as a snarky exchange ended with her career in ruins, watched by hundreds of thousands. The streets of Santa Monica buzzed with life under a bright California sun. Among the lineup of hip cafes was Coastal Brews *, a cozy spot known for its avocado toast and a loyal crowd of progressive regulars. It was a safe haven for small talk about climate change and weekend protests. At least it was until Mark Winslow walked in. Mark, 52-year-old, carried himself with quiet confidence. A self-made millionaire and staunch Republican, he had recently purchased Coastal Brews *, but instead of rolling in with fanfare, he chose to go incognito, observing his new investment from the ground up. He took a seat by the window, donning a crisp shirt, jeans, and his signature, "Make America Great Again" hat, a decision that would turn his morning coffee run into a full-blown spectacle. From behind the counter, Katie, a 28-year-old waitress with dyed blue hair and an apron full of progressive buttons, spotted him. The hat might as well have been a neon sign reading "Trouble Ahead." Katie prided herself on her wit and boldness. She didn't just serve lattes, she served attitude, and today, she had her target. With an exaggerated smile, Katie strutted over. "Morning," she chirped, her tone more sarcastic than cheerful. "Love the hat, real bold statement for this neighborhood. You sure you're in the right place?" Mark didn't flinch. He glanced up from the menu, calm and measured. "Just here for coffee," he replied, as if her comment hadn't registered. Katie's smile widened into a smirk. "Oh, we serve coffee, but we don't usually get, fans of yours around here." Mark set the menu down and folded his hands on the table. "Coffee's not political, and I'd appreciate it if we kept it that way." A nearby table of regulars perked up, sensing drama. Katie's smirk twisted into something sharper. "You walk in here with that hat, and you think politics aren't part of the deal?" "Cute," Mark sighed. "I'm just here for a drink, isn't that what this place is about?" Katie leaned closer, her voice dropping to a low hiss. "This place? It's about community. And you're not part of it." Mark leaned back, his calm unshaken. "Community doesn't mean shutting people out. Respect goes both ways, doesn't it?" For a moment, Katie seemed to falter. Then, spotting a steaming cup of coffee on the counter, her resolve hardened. Without warning, she grabbed it, marched back, and with a dramatic flourish flung it directly into Mark's face. Gasps echoed through the cafe. Mark winced but didn't lash out. Instead, he calmly reached for a napkin, dabbing the hot liquid from his skin. The surrounding tables froze in silence, every eye fixed on the scene unfolding. "What the hell is going on here?" A new voice cut through the tension. Jason, the cafe's manager, stormed out from the back, his gaze bouncing between Katie, Mark, and the spilled coffee. His expression turned pale as recognition dawned. "Mr. Winslow?" Jason's voice cracked. Katie frowned, her smirk fading. "Wait, what?" she stammered. "Who's he?" Mark rose slowly from his chair, his face calm but commanding. He looked directly at Katie. "I'm the owner of this cafe, and as of right now, you're no longer an employee." Katie's face drained of color. "I didn't know." Mark raised a hand, silencing her. "This isn't about what you didn't know. It's about what you just did. Respect is a two-way street, and you clearly don't belong on it." Jason stammered something unintelligible, but Mark had already turned toward the door. "We'll discuss this later, Jason," he said, his voice steady. Without another word, he exited the cafe, leaving behind a room full of stunned silence and a deeply humiliated Katie. Unbeknownst to Mark, someone had recorded the entire exchange. By the end of the day, the video would go viral, and Mark Winslow would become a symbol of grace under fire. But for now, the cafe remained frozen, the weight of the moment hanging heavy in the air. The fallout from Katie's outburst was immediate. Within hours, the video of her splashing coffee in Mark's face had gone viral. Customers whispered about the incident while reporters gathered outside Coastal Brews *, eager for a statement. Inside, the tension was thick enough to cut with a knife. Katie sat in the back room, arms crossed, trying to mask her panic. Jason, the manager, paced furiously. "What the hell were you thinking, Katie?" he snapped. "You threw coffee at the owner. Do you realize how bad this looks?" Katie huffed, her usual confidence faltering. "I didn't know he owned the place. He walked in with that stupid hat like he was asking for it." Jason groaned. "It doesn't matter. You embarrassed yourself, this cafe, and now we're all over the internet." Meanwhile, Mark sat in his car, scrolling through his phone. The video of the incident was everywhere, with captions like, "MAGA hat man humiliated, but wait for the twist." Comments poured in, most praising his calm demeanor. Mark sighed, his plans for subtle observation now thoroughly derailed. Back at the cafe, the chaos was escalating. Reporters knocked on the windows, cameras flashing. Jason was overwhelmed, barking orders at staff to handle the crowd. Katie peeked out from the back, her stomach twisting as she realized the gravity of the situation. Then the door swung open, and Mark stepped inside. The cafe fell silent. Without the MAGA hat, he looked even more imposing, his calm confidence commanding the room. Jason hurried forward. "Mr. Winslow, I can explain." Mark raised a hand, cutting him off. His eyes locked on Katie. "I'm not here for explanations. I'm here to set things straight." Katie straightened her apron, trying to hold her ground. "If you're here to fire me, just say it," she said, her voice wavering. Mark's tone was steady but firm. "This isn't about firing you. It's about accountability. What you did was unacceptable. You threw hot coffee at a customer. Owner or not, that's dangerous and unprofessional." The room was deathly quiet. Even the reporters outside seemed to hold their breath, cameras ready to catch every word. "You're done here," Mark continued. "Effective immediately." Katie's face turned pale. "You can't—" Mark cut her off. "This cafe stands for respect, and you clearly don't understand what that means." Without waiting for a response, he turned to Jason. "We'll talk later," he said. Then, addressing the entire room, he added, "This place will move forward, but only if we hold ourselves to higher standards." As Mark walked out, the cafe buzzed with stunned whispers. Outside, reporters swarmed him, shouting questions. But he ignored them, heading straight to his car. Inside, Katie slumped into a chair, her bravado shattered. The damage was done, and the consequences of her actions had only just begun. The days following the incident were a whirlwind for Coastal Brews. The viral video had placed the cafe squarely in the public eye, and while some customers arrived out of curiosity, many came to express their support for Mark Winslow. The once quiet cafe had become the talk of the town. Mark, however, remained focused. He wasn't one to bask in attention. Instead, he took immediate steps to ensure Coastal Brews lived up to its new reputation as a place of respect and quality. Meetings with Jason became daily occurrences, with strict instructions to retrain the staff and overhaul policies to emphasize professionalism. "We're not just fixing this for the cameras," Mark said during one such meeting. "This place has to reflect what it's supposed to stand for. Community, not conflict." Jason nodded, more determined than ever. "Understood. We'll make it happen." Meanwhile, Katie's story took a different turn. Unemployed and facing a tidal wave of online backlash, she kept a low profile. Her defiance had turned into regret, especially as she replayed the incident in her mind. The realization that her actions had hurt more than just herself began to sink in. A week after the incident, Mark returned to the cafe for a quieter visit. The buzz had started to die down, but the atmosphere was notably different. Smiling staff greeted customers warmly, and the air of tension that once lingered was gone. Jason approached Mark with a proud smile. "We've made some changes," he said. "I think you'll like what you see." Mark ordered his usual coffee and sat by the window, observing the seamless operation. For the first time, he felt the cafe beginning to reflect the vision he had when he first bought it. As he sipped his coffee, a familiar figure appeared outside, Katie. She hesitated at the door, looking unsure whether to step inside. Spotting Mark through the glass, she squared her shoulders and entered. The cafe grew quiet as heads turned, recognizing her. Katie walked up to Mark's table, her expression a mix of embarrassment and determination. "Mr. Winslow," she began, her voice softer than usual. "I just wanted to apologize." Mark set down his cup and looked up. "For what?" "For everything," she said. "For losing my temper, for being disrespectful, and for making this harder on everyone. I let my emotions get the best of me, and it wasn't right." Mark studied her for a moment before nodding. "It takes courage to admit when you're wrong. I appreciate that." "I've been thinking about what you said," Katie continued, glancing around at the bustling cafe. "About respect going both ways. You're right. I was out of line. I don't expect forgiveness, but I needed to say it." Mark leaned back, his expression thoughtful. "Everyone makes mistakes, Katie. The important thing is what you learn from them. Are you learning?" She nodded earnestly. "I am." Mark didn't say more. Instead, he motioned to Jason, who approached cautiously. "Jason," Mark said, "what do you think?" Jason hesitated, then shrugged. "She's a hard worker when she's not, well, throwing coffee." Mark turned back to Katie. "You're not getting your job back, but if you're serious about learning, maybe there's a place for you somewhere else. Think of this as a fresh start." Katie's eyes widened, and for the first time in days, a hint of relief crossed her face. "Thank you," she said quietly. As Katie left, the cafe seemed to exhale, the tension easing. Mark returned to his coffee, satisfied that progress was being made, not just for the cafe but for everyone involved. Coastal Brews would go on to thrive, earning a reputation as one of the most welcoming spots in the city. For Mark, the incident became a lesson in the importance of leading by example. Respect, he realized, was more than a policy. It was a practice. And with that, he was ready to make Coastal Brews the kind of place where everyone felt they belonged.